Hey, for those of you who don't know who I am, or this is the first time you guys are watching the Good Brothers Trading Academy, my name is Josh, and I'm going over a quick recap. So I want to do a morning breakdown for you guys, and so we did that, and I just wanted to touch on a few. Some of the stuff that we liked. So here was Apple. We got the rejection right into the sell zone area. Facebook just started kind of selling off around the open. BA we were kind of bearish on. Same exact thing. It's busting through some of the zones. I do not like BA. I want to see different types of news change. The coronavirus has got to do a little better. BA was something we thought might get a little bit of a lift off in the morning. But it's been stuck in this zone. But the biggest ones that I kind of want to go over, Roku pushed up nice, come back down. Let's see what Netflix is doing. We wanted to see Netflix kind of starting to base out. It didn't hit any of our alerts, so that's fine. But Doku did. Doku went right to our zone and did a sell-off. Now, the one that I was talking about, Zoom, we like Doku. It did not put in the pattern we were looking for. We did not take it to the long side, but it did hit the sell zone. The one that we want to go over is Zoom real quick. We were short bias if Zoom hit the 53 or 54, or excuse me, $540. We would be bearish on Zoom. Now, Zoom had some pre-market news coming out on the stock. I don't remember what it was. It was in the update there. And but I wanted to kind of go over this. Now, when we're looking for zones, you see this big reversal candle, and we see where this pattern was put in before. We see where this pattern was put in prior to that. So we went up, we tested 540, we came down, found support. We pushed 540, we found 540 as a support, or it was a resistance. Then we found support down here into the 530s, found support again in the 540, which would have been old support, excuse me, old resistance, and then we had the big push up. Then we get this big rejection candle. This is what we're looking at. This is how we found the sell zone. There was a lot of sellers in here, and so next time, if there's anybody holding the stock, waiting for the stock to come back up, once it hits this area, this 540 area, we would see that there was more sellers. You'd also have some short sellers piling in on the stock. Okay, and so what we were looking for is just getting short on into 540. And that's exactly what happened. So now we're just kind of waiting to see. We want to see if it finds this area of support. If it finds this area of support, we could possibly get a move up into the 530s and 535s before double topping. We'll just kind of continue to watch. Let's check the hourly chart to see how it is. So we got a big reversal. So it would make sense to get, if we can hold this level, if we seal the deal up here on the next hourly candle and we're all the way up in the 530s, then it makes sense. If we're breaking above 530, we could start finding some higher highs. And if that's the case, we could maybe possibly make a move back up into 537 by the end of the day. But I would be more out to waiting for rejections and seeing if we can get kind of a push back down for an intraday play. Just wanted to quickly follow up, give you an idea of what we saw pre-market, what we alerted, what we kind of thought was going to happen, and then these are the specific levels you want to. And the reason why I bring this up is it's not to show you that we were right or these were the sell zones. What I'm wanting to do is, let's go down to a smaller time frame. These are our zones. We snapped these in way before, right? Before the market even opened up. I would say maybe even an hour before the market opened. So half hour to an hour. The point is why I put these areas in is because I want to start building confidence in the trade. I want the stock to start proving to me that I understand what's happening in the marketplace. If it's doing something and I am wrong, and there are times that I am wrong, that just means that I have no business taking a trade that day. Now, if I am correct and I'm getting a rejection off of 540, I'm going, okay, I understand where sellers are at. I now understand where buyers are coming in at. This was a buy zone. Okay, we got down, I went over this pre-market. We get this double bottom where we get this higher low setup. We find buyers here. We make a higher low, and then we push up sideways. We reject it, come back down. We find this bottom where we're kind of putting in of the first bottom. We go sideways, we put in a second bottom. Now we're building a pattern in the same place that we built a pattern the day before and the prior day to that. But more of like a bearish pattern, right? So now we're holding it. We get the strong push up when we called it. We said we believe that it would reach this 540 zone. Now we're getting rejected. That starts building confidence. So I was right at where the buyers are at, built confidence seeing where the sellers are at. And now I'm coming back into this buy zone area where we have this. This was marked way out before. Now I'm finding buying pressure. So what happens? If we start getting wicks from the top and it's looking like it's going to come down, well, now we know that we can potentially have a sell-off down in this area. Okay, so now if we're getting a pattern going to the downside on maybe a bigger time frame, maybe like an hourly chart, right? Like we were just discussing, maybe we're getting some rejections, 50% up this reversal pattern. We now know that we may be able to start taking the pattern down to this bottom area, this between the blue and the pink area, which would be 50%. This is the battle on the weekly time frame. My pink lines are always the 50% level. And so now this is the area that I'm wanting to keep an eye on. I want to see rejections happen or a pattern hold this new 50%, this new reversal pattern. I want to see if it can hold above the 50% level, so 530, 531. And I want to see if it builds a pattern sideways, just like it built a pattern here, just like it built a pattern here, and then I would be long biased. If there's some type of news catalyst. Generally, I like to wait for news to get me into the trade. Okay, so if we get rejections, it has a potential of coming back down into 510 or so. If it holds and it starts pushing above 530, we have the potential of getting, 530, we have the potential into seeing the 540, and then see if it holds at the top. Okay, this would just be intraday trades. This is certainly nothing I would be holding on to for a day or two, and this is not something I would be waiting to see where the high a day closes. I would be selling into yesterday's high or today's high, and I would be selling into where the power candles are at.
Okay, so I just wanted to follow up with like an after day or after the market's done trading and just show you just how important these zones are. Okay, you got to understand where buyers come in. You got to understand where sellers come into the market. So I do like Apple. We found that our buyers, you know that this was a buy area. We did find buyers. These red lines here are very significant on the bigger time frames, and that's why they are different colors. But we definitely found buyers we wanted to. We went zone to zone in this area. So here's where, possibly the short opportunity was. We knew sellers were there. We knew buyers are there. Now we have this bounce and then a move higher. It would be really cool to get a double bottom, right? So something to sell off in the morning, be a dip buy, or if it just continues to consolidate or push up and then consolidate, we could see higher prices at Apple. If it starts crashing, coming down, and then consolidating down here, we know that it could possibly come down lower, right? So let's just continue going through. I just want to show you the different buy and sell zones. So we had this zone confirmed yesterday. We were at the top of it, and we just got a straight off sell right into our next zone down here, okay, where it was at, and then we found buyers stepping in again. So we'll see. Now, what I would do is I'd take this between the high of yesterday and the low of yesterday, and just pay attention where our 50% is. This is where I'd pay attention of where the stock is currently trade, or where it would be trading at. So there's a couple things that can happen. Either we'll get a push up, a consolidation above 50%, and then I make a move higher. If it does something like that, I'd join it. If it just goes straight up, I probably wouldn't join it. You could be looking on the smaller time frames, but that's what I would be checking out. Now, if it gets rejected around here and crashes and then comes back up, you could look at getting short for an intraday scalp. We just want to understand where the levels are at. This breaks down the charts for us, okay? So we got our sell zones up here. This breaks down the chart so we know where sellers are at. This breaks down the chart where we know where buyers are at. Once we confirm, like I was saying earlier, is this builds confidence in our trade. Now, if this is at the 50%, look where these other reversal candles happen. Right here. Look where this other pattern happened, right here. Doesn't it make sense to get some sort of a push through the pattern? We have a consolidation. So is that the pattern at the 50%? Well, I don't know. It seems like the 50% is a little higher to me, to where this rejection's at. So we could get a push through it, maybe a consolidation, maybe a retest. You got to watch it. So the market can do whatever it wants. It could push through it, and this is the point of understanding and knowing sentiment. So, and that's by watching different time frames, right? We understand the sentiment of the market depending on how fast the other time frames are building their patterns. We understand that if the market's cruising and it's on a 1 minute chart or a 5 minute chart, it's building quick little bull flags, then we could probably join a trade on like a 1 minute or 5 minute pullback, or depending on how extended the stock is, if it's a 1 minute chart, then you would wait for a 5 minute pullback. of course, depending on the patterns as well. And we could get further in that. If you guys have questions, make sure you leave them in the comment box below for me. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and share this information if you find it to be useful. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I want to go live for you guys so you guys could follow me. And we could be walking through each one of these trades. Now let's look at BA. I was short bias on BA. I didn't care for BA. I hadn't been long bias on BA forever. It seems like whenever BA gets a nice pop, there's any kind of news, just start shorting it. BA's got buying pressure. Quick, short it. That's kind of my thought process until coronavirus is over. So we got a nice sell-off. It broke through zones. You can see where it touched it. Got sucked back up, broke through, consolidated through it. So we came through the zone. Here's where the candle closed, right? And whenever you are wanting to buy or sell something or short something, I like to see it come through the zone, consolidate underneath, because if it consolidated up here, that still means we're holding possibly like a support. If it comes through and then consolidates, gives us this indecision bar underneath the support, then that's a potential move lower, right? A drop. So then we get some buying pressure coming up and we find a couple different bottoms. This is still quite bearish. We'd have to come up, maybe put some sort of a consolidation. It wouldn't surprise me to get a couple more rejections, maybe find a double bottom of some sort. I'd be looking for a lower high setup. Today doesn't look like something I'm going to just trade off the open. I hadn't really checked the bigger time frames. Again, I got to get going. I'm in a little bit of a hurry. This is kind of a cool pattern. So we have BA, and I've been bullish on BA. So we're holding this level quite a bit. We got our big rejection yesterday, right off the open. Comes down, we find more buyers. So this would be a good area of buying and just putting your stop loss. And how a lot of times I do stop losses, if you guys have been following me, is I don't just draw a line in the sand and go, this is my stop loss. I believe in taking a little bit of a smaller position, expecting to get a little bit bigger of a move, because especially when you're starting out trading, you want to have a bigger stop loss, and you don't want to be trading with huge share size. So don't get into the fallacy of thinking you got to have 1,000 shares or 500 shares or something crazy starting out to make big money. We can start out with smaller share size, something that you're comfortable with in the account, wait for that dip by opportunity, wait for the price to come down, then you buy, and then you wait. And so for a stop loss, what I would do is I would wait. Let's say you buy the dip down here. It's selling off. It looks great. You buy the dip. I would wait for the candle to close. I'd wait for a pattern to form, and then it start rejecting, and that's where my stop loss would be. Okay, I would wait till the stock proves to me that it is going down, that I am wrong. I wait for the stock to prove to me that I am wrong in my positions. Now, if they just keep selling off and there's some type of terrible news, I'm usually trying to pay attention to the news all the time. So that could happen, right? Or if the entire SPY, the Qs, the XLF, you name it, the IWM, they're all just selling off hard, then you just cut your loss. Or I try not to get below or let it go run past a 1 to 2% stop loss. And some people are going to say, oh my gosh, a 2%. Well, you're not using your full account either. You're just using the share size that you're comfortable with, okay? And I have other videos on that as well. So here's Roku. Roku want to make me a liar. That's probably the only one that didn't really stick within, but this chart's pretty cluttery anyway. We definitely had our sell zone at the top. Our buy zone was clear down here. So it just didn't make it. Found some other support. I wouldn't have understood the chart. I just wouldn't be taking it. Maybe if it curved back around and it starts rejecting and it builds a nice pattern, you could probably take it short for a breakdown. But I generally just like to buy. I like to short into the pops and then sell into or buy into, when the price is coming down. So that wouldn't have been something I would be interested in. Now, Twilio, TWLO, huge indecision bar. Love it when it does this. I'm going to go ahead and set my alert from top to bottom on Twilio. So this tells me right here that we have extreme amounts of buying coming in and selling in the bottom, extreme amount of buying and selling at the top, and we have this indecision bar telling us that this was our buy zone, right? So we expected the sell zone to come up. We did this, I don't know, like in the several days ago, a couple weeks ago, at the beginning of the month. So we have our sell-off, big rejection coming down. We have sellers coming into the market. Now we have this indecision bar. So whichever way this breaks, whatever way we get a pattern on this, you can be sure if this starts selling off, you could most likely be a buyer here. If it starts going straight up, you could most likely be a seller here. There are so many people trapped in here. It's going to be hard getting over this. What would it be? 315 level down to 287.50. So those areas are definitely a support and resistance, and I would be watching on smaller time frames reversals off of that. NVIDIA hit our buy zone, and so we got our big rejection, sell zone, reversal, sell off, and then it looks like we're getting picked back up. Okay, so you could do the same thing. Put your measure your Fibonacci from top to bottom and find your 50%, which would probably be right here in this pattern area, and that's what you'd be watching. So if it's going to be bullish, it's going to build a pattern and get over that 50%, but it is on a downtrend, so I would be watching for more or less rejections and seeing how it reacts around the 50%, be a buyer off the 50%, maybe a small scalp, or you'd be a seller into these areas, because I just don't think it's going to run right through unless we have an extreme day. Now, when I say stuff like this, I don't think it's going to happen, or this may be the thing. The market can do whatever it wants, and understand that you watch. Just because I have a bias on something doesn't mean, and you have to learn to do this, you have to switch your biases very quickly in the market, okay? You can't just get a bias and go, look, I'm short bias, I'm going to sell into this. Well, if it spikes up into it really quick and momentum's up, you're looking again at the IWN, the SPY, the Qs, and if you find them to be pushing extremely hard, why would you be short bias? So now you just got to switch your bias and go, look, I'm going to wait until I understand the pattern, until I understand the market and what's happening. I'm going to watch the candlesticks, watch the price action, maybe watching news feeds, checking stuff out, and you're going to play the candlesticks accordingly, okay? And Netflix, and this will be, maybe we'll go to Beyond too, but Netflix still in that buy zone, watching it find a base. I would love to see this thing continue. It hadn't hit any of my, just about hit my lower alert, and waiting for it to kind of start making higher highs, because Netflix, if you remember right, is in an incredible buy area. So this is what I'd be looking for. We have found buyers here so many times. It looks like we're finding more buyers. This to me just looks like a giant, it looks top heavy for sure, but we did get this push up. I believe we participated in this move coming up, and now we're consolidating. If we continue with the pandemic, and they didn't beat their earning estimate, and history shows that they have slowly declined, so maybe this is pretty much the, not going to make it too much higher, but I would still be bullish until I'm not in this trade.
Now, if you haven't seen the video on power candles, I recommend that for you. I will leave that in the description box below. If you haven't already, give me a thumbs up on the video, like it and share it. We're brand new to YouTube, and our goal is to get 1,000 subscribers so we can go live for you each and every day. So comment below if you want me to break down a ticker for you. Other than that, my name is Josh from Good Brothers Trading Academy. I'll see you in the next video.